Okay, ready?
Let us know when you're ready.
We've leaned on a bit more there.
Yeah. It's good.
Can we have the click, please?
Yes, sure.
Hello everybody and welcome to Gallagher Premiership Rugby's The Lowdown. I'm not joined by Topsy Ojo this weekend. He's come over all lazy again, having a pillow day. I'm joined by Jamal Ford-Robinson, Gloucester's tight head prop and loose head prop, plays both sides. He's asked me repeatedly to mention that. Very, very versatile, sort of guy you'd love to contract for a lot of money in your team, worth every penny. Jamal, great to see you. We're going to get to some rugby action in a minute, but first of all, as we've got you here, I wanted to ask you what you think of the whole role of current players in the media and on social media, because we all went a bit balmy during lockdown. You went particularly balmy, or at least showed the world how balmy you are, and started doing all sorts of weird stuff on social media and TikTok, dancing and showing us all your wonderful physique and basically being weird, sitting on the toilet and showing us your brand of underwear, all that sort of stuff. 15 years ago or 10 years ago, nobody was doing that. But now there seems to be more freedom to express who you really are. Does it feel like that?
Yeah, I think you still have to meet a bit of resistance. It's still kind of like, not taboo, but, you know, it is still one of those things that people take time to adjust to. You know, it's like the world we live in at the moment. It's something that is not essential, but, you know, if you want to start setting things up for post-rugby whilst you're still playing, it is a good vehicle to do it. You know?
And there's stuff like like Ellis Genge signing for Bristol, Bristol Bears, coming back home and all that, but he's still a Leicester player, and he's doing a video of him arriving at Bristol training ground, hugging Pat Lam mid-season, and then playing for Leicester the next week. 5 years ago, nobody would have done that, but I don't think anyone really questions that, because firstly, no one questions Genji's commitment to Leicester Tigers. I mean, watch him play for 5 minutes, he's flat out. But also, it's what he wanted to do, and he's not hurting anyone, so go and let him do it. And if Leicester Tigers aren't offended, what right has anyone else got? So there is more freedom. And I remember, as a player myself, not getting picked for an England squad, which was a joke, by the way, not getting picked for an England squad and thinking I was going to be. A lot of the squads I didn't get picked for, I knew they weren't going to pick me, and they were right. But this one, I thought, I've been playing all right and they're going to pick me. And I rang, and I was basically told, well, we think you're doing too much TV. We think you need to focus more on your rugby. And that was it. And I actually was focusing on my rugby, but because I was doing some of this sort of stuff, social media wasn't yet around. That was it. We don't want him because he stuck his head above the parapet. No one wore multicoloured boots and all that. But the game has changed, isn't it? This stuff's encouraged.
It is. And look, like I said, there is still some resistance. You know, I've had it myself.
Have you?
Yeah,
right.
Where like people have seen that I'm active on Instagram or Twitter, and they just assume that if I'm putting energy into that, I'm clearly not worried about my rugby, which is just like, okay, you make up whatever story you want in your head. But yeah, you know, like the Ellis Genge thing is like, it's a good video. It's a good bit of PR. And you know, initially there was some people on Twitter that were getting on Ellis about like, oh, you can't do that mid-season. You're supposed to be Leicester captain. But it's like, have you seen the guy play on the field? It's like, what can your issue be? The guy like puts his heart and soul into every game, every minute that he plays, and you question his commitment because he's done a video with Bristol mid-season. It's a bit crazy.
Yeah, it's almost like if, you know, you do your stuff on social media and have a bit of fun, if you're man of the match, everyone loves it. If you don't have your best game and you've still got social media stuff hanging around, because of course once it's there forever, it's permanent, then that's a nice little in they've got there. They can just say, well, that's why you didn't play well, because you're concentrating on that. You know, I put this up 6 weeks ago, the same day I got man of the match. You know, it's kind of, everyone's allowed more to be. We thought when we were playing that it was very inclusive of people's different personalities and stuff, but I think it's gone on a level, and the lads, like, this sort of stuff. Do you come here and film this? You know, we're filming this on a Sunday morning, Sunday lunchtime, by the way. Do you come here and worry about George Skivington or Don Waldock, you know, finding out and telling you off for coming and doing TV on your day off? Is that even a worry?
No, it's not. And that's something that, you know, being around Skivs and Dom is like, that they know that when I'm at rugby, that's what I'm focusing on, but outside of that, you know, I've got other interests. And they know that and they understand that.
And you like cars and barbecues, which is...
I love cars and barbecues.
Sort of where we're at. That's effectively why we're both here. Oh, and this. And I've just realised that the whole way through I've been holding a packet of black pudding. Clonakilty. It's not sponsored. Craig Doyle just arrived on a plane. He's in the studio next door and gave us some black pudding, and I haven't let it go in case someone takes it. I really like it. I'm warming it up. I'm going to eat it raw on the way home. Right, we've recruited the Grimsby under-12s to tell us what's coming up. So here they are to tell you what's coming up.
Hi, we are from Grimsby under-12s team, and coming up in this week's show are all the highlights from round 22.
On Friday night, it was Sale Sharks against Saracens.
On Saturday, Exeter team played back rugby.
Worcester Rugby played Wasps. Northampton City took on Bristol Bears. And Worcester Warriors played Newcastle Trophy. On Sunday, London Irish against Saracens.
Highlights from all those games coming up. Enjoy the show! Hey!
Try and ship it on its way to Carrera to give him a little bit of room, but that's brilliantly charged down, and this time Amunga should be away. Jacob Amunga will run in uncontested, having charged down the chip ahead by Santi Carrera. Wasps have been feeding off scraps at times, but at the third time of asking, they have their try. And Jacob Amunga is the scorer.
Yeah, I think we got what we deserved in the end, actually, if I'm honest. I thought we had some really good pressure moments in the first half, and Wasps relieved that pressure, whether it was at the breakdown or just flying out the line. I think, we're obviously really disappointed with it, but, I think on the night the best team won.
Really enjoyed that interview from Gorgeous George Skivington. Always reflective, balanced, very honest. Says you guys got what you deserved. Is he that reflective and balanced behind closed doors in the changing rooms?
Yeah, obviously you don't want to jump to too many conclusions straight after the game, but whenever he comes in, he's always pretty honest. Says it how it is. The better team did win on the day, not the night. And I know he'll be hurting from those two more tries conceded as well. So that'll definitely be something we're looking at.
Yeah, as a former second row and a macho one at that, he will hate those two Wasp tries. But kudos to the Wasp pack. That's very, very good effort down at Kingsholm. Joe Launchbury's made a massive difference since he's come back there. What a player. Right, we're going north up to the AJ Bell. It's Sale against Saracens. And well, whenever anyone plays against Sale, there's going to be a lot of boom, isn't there? Enjoy.
Saracens have gone route one now, haven't they? They've decided that this stage of the game, the pick and goes on.
Tompkins feeds Malins. No look pass, picked up on the bounce by Earl. Little show of the ball, crashes over for his second. And Saracens striking.
And Earl just decides, running at full tilt, there's no way he's going to stop me going over the line.
A lot of people, for whatever reason, don't like Saracens. Now, I expect that fuels them. The whole you don't like us, we don't care thing. I think that probably fuels Saracens. But whether people like it or not, they are in a very good spot. Now, delete the fact that you're a Gloucester player for a minute. Do you think this is a Sarries team that, having been in the Championship last season, could win the Gallagher Premiership title this season and annoy a few people, but achieve something fantastic?
Yeah, it does pay me to say, but I think they can. We've got a couple of internationals coming back who are just, slotting in, being like world beaters, like Itoje, George. And, you look at their results throughout the season, they haven't left the game without taking some sort of league point from it. I don't know if they're bookies' favourite, they might be, but...
Yeah, I don't know why. They can't be far off, can they?
No, they can't, and they are looking like, the team to beat.
Bristol down to 13, Semi Randrandra and Fitzharding off the pitch, serving yellow cards, and Northampton scenting an opportunity here to absolutely put the game to bed. Into the final quarter, looking to finish it, should finish it. Freeman, Collins scores, and that's it. Still 20 minutes to go, but no way back for Bristol from this, and Saints continuing to tickle around the playoffs.
It's time for Topsy's take. That's Topsy. I'm not Topsy, but his agent is very aggressive, won't let us ditch the graphic. We're going to look at a high shot in the Saints-Bristol game. Fitzharding hits Fraser Dingwall. It ends up being a yellow card and not a red. Bear in mind, it will look ugly in slow-mo. These things always do. But there's a lot to talk about. That is a bicep right in the chin. You've got a player who is tackling definitely too high, hence the yellow card. But you have got a player who makes an effort to reduce his body height before the hit and then sort of comes up as the hit happens. So Jamal, there's no matter how much process they put in place, how much they legislate for in this. There is always going to be a grey area. But as someone, a current pro, coached in defensive technique most days of his life, what do you see when you see that?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because, like you said, we are coached to attack the ball, especially as that secondary tackler. So you're looking to, hit the chest kind of ball area and slow it up. But yeah, I can see why people would be upset with it because, there is an attempt to lower Harding to lower his height initially, but he does end up quite high, and the first point of contact is on Dingwall's chin.
Yeah, smacking him in the jaw, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, at full chat. I mean, but when there's mitigation, I suppose, in the referee's defence, what you've got is you can't not give a red card in case it ruins the game. A red's a red.
Yeah.
But because Fitzharding has reduced his body height and he does come back up, but he's not fully upright. I mean, how tall is he? 6'4". He's tackling at about 6 foot, so he's not at full height. There's a bit of mitigation. It's not a shoulder. If there's any doubt, don't give the red. That seems a positive message, but still, we can't have tackles like this in the game. So, I mean, without wanting you to keep it too simple, what's the answer if you don't want to get yellow and red cards?
Not too simple. Just go lower.
Yeah, go lower. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? You have to go lower. It's got to be low. You've got to be low from the start, and you've got to finish low, and that might mean the ball's freed up, but it also means the game's far safer. And the best reference I've got, I mean, topically, is Courtney Lawson. I mean, Courtney Lawson is 6'7". He's an absolute banger of a tackler, and he just never gets penalised for high tackles. Been penalised once, I think, in his career, which is on his Saints debut. I believe that is true. In fact, I know it. One high tackle, and he's 6'7". So you can't tell me it can't be done. They've got to get lower. Right, moving on from that, very controversial. Northampton Saints. You've been there. Not too long ago. You were a Northampton Saint yourself. Their attack really is quite something, and it looks like Sam Vesti. With the sort of permission and guidance of Chris Boyd, it looks like Vesti's doing a really good job up there. Yeah,
and that's something that they wanted to bring in pretty sharpish on arrival was, we were still kind of attacking quite old school under the old management in terms of like going around the same way, very much forward dominant, and so they wanted to basically just flip the script. Let's get the backs involved. Let's kind of show ourselves. Let's express ourselves through the rugby. And you've got guys like Mitchell at 9. Hutchinson in the centre, these guys are just, they can find
box
gaps.
office.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, thanks for that, Jamal, very much indeed. Next up, it's Exeter against Bath.
Capstick, hard line. Quick ball for Chiefs. O'Flaherty, brilliant on the short ball. Really well tackled by Josh Bayliss. Brilliant defence, actually. Keys do well to get that away. Simmons, he'll wang it wide to Stuart Hogg, who'll run in unopposed. Brilliant attack from the Exeter Chiefs. In the end, a run in for Stuart Hogg.
Lovely hands from Sam Skinner, but thought Jackie Mullen coming round the corner with his hair on fire.
So an unreasonably entertaining game. It was pandemonium at times at Sandy Park. The first half was breathless in the extreme. Chiefs went in a point down. Everybody looked like they'd played 3 games of rugby in a row. And I wanted to talk to you, Jamal, about the whole notion of confrontation. There are certain elements of rugby, the scrum, the collision, the breakdown, the tackle, the kicking for the corner instead of the post, which are overtly confrontational. But Chiefs' refusal to box kick or kick away the ball, as much as they might, as much as a lot of other teams do, and just keep hold of that ball phase after phase after phase from minute 1, is directly confrontational, isn't it? They're attacking your lungs, effectively.
Yeah, exactly. And you referenced it there with the box kick. A lot of teams use it, including us, to play in the right areas of the field so that we're not constantly going through phases and wasting energy before we're getting into that red zone. Exeter just kind of take that script and throw it out, and they're just more than happy just to grind you down, go through, double-digit number of phases, and basically just hope that you blow up before they do.
And that feeling where, as a prop, you'll have had this, I know, first few games of the season, back after pre-season, doesn't matter how hard you've trained, there is a point during the game where you're almost aerobically panicked and you look at the clock and think, we've got that long to go. There were lads looking at, that feeling, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
There were lads looking up at the clock 5.5 minutes in because the ball hadn't gone out of play. Everyone was just gasping, trying to suck in oxygen, and it paid off. Bath were blown away in the fourth quarter. Chiefs won the second half 23-0. They were fantastic. On Bath, although they lost by 20 points, there does feel like there is improvement at Bath. You're watching them, do you see that?
Yeah, definitely, and I don't know if it's like a confidence thing now that they've got a couple of results, or whether it's a change in direction from coaching, but definitely they seem to be willing to play a bit more. And why wouldn't you? You know, you've got the backline that they've got, some unbelievable talent in there. Just get them the ball, see if they can create something. You know, it's good to see. You know, you don't want a team to be the whipping boys the whole time. So it's good to see them putting up a fight. It's just unfortunately they fell off towards the end.
Beck tries to float it. It was almost caught by Louis Schroeder. There's Graham Kitchener rolling back the years. It's been lost forward. Here goes George McGuigan. McGuigan just running over the opposition. Here's Trevor Davison. He offloads it to Peterson. And here goes Schroeder. And Schroeder goes through. And that is the try bonus point.
We can make as many excuses as we want about illness, but we were pathetic today, if I'm honest. Really, really disappointed.
As a player, how do you recover from your coach saying that about you on telly after a game? Don't know.
I don't know. Like it's, you know, like I said earlier, Skibbs is normally pretty honest with us, but I've never been in a position where I've been called pathetic. So.
Yeah, quite punchy, quite punchy. For us lot in the media, this is great stuff to talk about. For those Worcester players, it's going to be fascinating to see how they react.
Already got 36 points. Tizard trying to lay it back for Care. Beyond Esterhazen to Wallace. He's held on to by Facundo Hehenya. And then the switch to the right-hand side. Everyone accelerating away to the right, including Hugh Jones. It's been magnificent.
Just lovely weighted pass there. Hugh Jones in open space. Just make it look so easy, don't they, Harlequins, when they're on the front foot.
It's a record Quins win against Irish here in Brentford. It's finished London Irish 14, Harlequins hugely impressively 41.
So a good win for the current champions at Brentford, and with a game in hand they look to be solidifying their playoff berth, their third place spot. So a rough day for London Irish. Of course, it was a rough weekend for Gloucester and Sale too, who along with Northampton Saints remain very much in the hunt for that fourth spot currently occupied by the Exeter Chiefs. Right, round 23 is in a couple of weeks' time because, of course, we've got some European games to get through first. But on Friday, the 22nd of April, Jamal, you go to Bristol to play on a Friday night. Do you like the Friday night lights?
I do, actually, yeah.
Yeah, and it's close to home, isn't it?
It is. You're home pretty early.
Yeah, you get to bed at a decent time. That's the main thing, isn't it, these days? Also on the Friday night is Newcastle Irish. The Saturday, the 23rd of April, Bath Rugby hosts Northampton Saints. Harlequins host Leicester Tigers. That's on BT Sport. Wasps welcome Worcester Warriors. That's on Premiership Rugby TV. And on Sunday, the 24th of April, it's Saracens against Chiefs. That will be a big one. Right, that's the Gallagher Premiership stuff dealt with for this week's show. But now it's time for your Grassroots Beaut. This is Burgess Hill against the unbeaten East Grinstead.
Mass Hiller, the electrician, to Archie Anscombe on his gap year. That's a fabulous probing kick, chased by Fijian Jim Wanganimbao. How about this? He kicks, he's got Matthias Garver, Burgess Hill's best plumber in support, and the Sussex All Black scorer Cracker.
Nice Grassroots Beaut like that, like the little chip through from Big Jim. Lovely stuff. Jamal, you got a couple of weeks off the Prem, you're into Europe now.
Yep.
Is it time to decompress and relax, or is it still full chat?
Still full chat. You know, it is nice to kind of take some of the pressure off of, you know, playing in the Premiership every week, because obviously that's your bread and butter. That's the main competition, and it's one that obviously with a lot of competition for that third, fourth spot that we're putting a lot of energy into. But you know, if you go undercooked into like a Europe game, you know you're going to get found out pretty quick. So it's not a case of, you know, you can relax and take your foot off the gas. You know, we're still fully on it.
Yeah, full chat. So it's a couple of weeks off the Prem, but it ain't a couple of weeks off. No. It's a couple of weeks on something else. Thanks for joining us, Jamal. Hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. It's been lovely having you here. Thank you for joining us too. That's all for this week's Lowdown. See you next time.